All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going somewhere really special, deep into a world filled with one of nature's most incredible phenomena, living light.
So, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the ocean. You're miles below the surface. And the sun, yeah, that's just a distant memory now. It is completely, utterly pitch black. The pressure is crushing. It's silent. And then, out of that total darkness, you see a flash of light.
No, you're not on some alien planet. You're right here on Earth in the deep sea. This is a hidden world where the creatures don't just survive in the dark, they completely own it by making their very own light. And that, my friends, is what we call bioluminescence.
So how in the world is that even possible, right? How can a living thing just create light from nothing? Well, the answer is all in the chemistry, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Okay, so at its heart, this isn't magic, even though it really looks like it. It's a chemical reaction. The easiest way to think about it, it's like a tiny, living glow stick that an animal can turn on and off whenever it wants.
And you know what's crazy? The recipe for this light is actually pretty simple. It really just comes down to two main things. First, you've got a molecule called luciferin. That's the fuel. Then, you have luciferase, which is an enzyme that acts like the trigger or the spark. You put those two together with a little bit of oxygen, and boom, you get light.
Now, this is nothing like the light bulb hanging from your ceiling. That's what we call hot light, and it's super wasteful. Most of the energy just gets lost as heat. Bioluminescence, on the other hand, is cold light. It's unbelievably efficient. Almost zero energy is wasted as heat. I mean, think about it. Evolution figured out how to create a perfect, efficient glow.
Okay, so we know how they do it, but why? This light isn't just for looking pretty, not at all. Down there, in that absolute blackness, light is everything. It's a weapon, it's a shield, it's even a way to communicate. It's basically the ultimate survival tool.
Let's look at the first strategy, and this one is just genius. It's called the burglar alarm defense.
So, picture this. A little shrimp gets caught by a predator. It looks like it's all over, but then, as a last resort, it spews out this cloud of glowing goo all over its attacker. The shrimp makes a quick getaway, but now the predator is totally lit up, basically painted with a giant glowing target. It's screaming, "Hey, over here," to any bigger, meaner predator that's lurking in the dark. It's an incredible, desperate, and brilliant move.
Okay, so that's how you use light to get someone else noticed. But what if you want to do the exact opposite? What if you want to use light to become invisible? Well, that's where our next strategy comes in: counter-illumination.
This is an absolutely wild form of camouflage. You have creatures like the lanternfish, with all these little lights on their bellies. And what they do is they adjust the brightness of those lights to perfectly match whatever faint sunlight is filtering down from the surface. So if you're a predator looking up from below, they just disappear. They completely blend in with the background. It's like a real-life invisibility cloak.
Of course, light isn't always about defense. Sometimes it's the perfect weapon, the perfect bait. And I think you know who I'm talking about. There is no better, or frankly, more terrifying example than the famous anglerfish.
Yeah, this is straight out of a horror movie. The anglerfish just hangs this glowing little orb out in the darkness, dangling from a rod on its head, right above this giant mouth full of needle-sharp teeth. And you can just imagine it, right? A smaller fish sees this one single light in the endless black. It's curious, it drifts closer and closer, and then snap, it's over. Just an absolutely deadly and perfect trap.
So as you can see, this stuff is just amazing. But it's not just fascinating to look at. This natural phenomenon is so clever that it's actually inspiring some huge breakthroughs in our own world, in technology, and even in medicine. So why should we care about this, beyond just being cool? Well, scientists are actually taking that exact same luciferin-luciferase reaction and using it to do some incredible things. Get this, in medicine, they can basically tag cancer cells with these glowing molecules. This lets them watch, in real time, how the cancer spreads or how it responds to treatment, all inside a living body. And looking to the future, people are even researching how we could create things like glowing trees to light our cities. I mean, can you imagine? Eco-friendly streetlights that don't need any electricity.
But here's the thing. We have to remember how fragile this hidden world is. With threats like pollution and deep-sea mining, we risk destroying these incredible ecosystems, maybe even before we've had a chance to understand them. We could be losing secrets we don't even know exist yet.
And that's really the bottom line here. We have barely scratched the surface. We're just beginning to explore this alien world on our own planet. For every single glowing creature we found, you just know there are thousands more mysteries waiting for us down there in the dark.
So we've seen life use light to hunt, to hide, to send out an SOS. But what about the things we don't understand? Why do some creatures flash in these really complex, rhythmic patterns? Are they talking to each other? Sending messages that we just can't decode yet? And you have to ask yourself, how many more bizarre, beautiful, glowing forms of life are waiting for us in all that unexplored ocean? It really makes you think, what mysteries do you believe the deep sea is still hiding?